All right, and we're back. Working on a little small block. It's been a few days since I've worked on it. I got distracted with some other projects, but we decided we're going to pull it back out and start working on it. The last time we had it done, I had to just assemble the bottom end of it, torque everything down. I think, I don't remember if I did it on video. I know it's all torqued down and done. So now we're on to the heads. So we're putting the head studs in, or back in. So now what I do with these is pretty simple. I reach in here and I run them in. I've put in all the head studs. You can tell what the ones I have done and haven't done, because they have sealer around each one of them that's been done. These two have not been done yet. So I just screwed them in, and all you do is you put a little juice on them and you screw them down until they stop, and that's it. But also, before I put them in, and run them down before they have a tight thread there. And clean, dry it up, it runs on in. So I always do that before I put any kind of sealer on them or anything. I've already cleaned them off so they don't have any oil on them, minus the little bit that came off my fingers. So I'm gonna grab the tripod and we'll set you up. All right, everybody has their own ways of doing this. This is how I do it. This is how I was taught to do it as well. So you take the stud out. First things first, let's get our jug ready because it's been sitting for a minute. Wipe the excess off the brush here. Oop, don't roll it off the edge though. Alright, stir it up. Now, I'm going to get us a nice coat. Grab a bolt. Try to get my face out of the way for this. I don't know how good it's going to go. Just make a nice clean lap around it here. If we need more, we'll get more. But for the time being, we're just going to try to make a nice, I'll try to cover 6 plus threads. I probably typically get about, let's see how many threads we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 threads on this one. So, we'll wipe it down. You want to cover at least 6. That's what my granddaddy always told me. And this is how I've always built them. Wipe them down real good and get a good coat all the way around it. If you get a spot that ain't got none, you can take your brush right here on the edge and pull him up, and it'll put some juice in there. If not, you can use the handle of the brush. There you go. See how I added some right there? You just drag it back around and it'll fill all the gaps. There it is. Now we should be good. And there it is. So now you should be able to run it in until the shank of the stud bottoms out on its own. And that's all the tightness it gets. And we'll come back with a rag and wipe up the rest with a little bit of brake clean. There it is, it bottomed out. And we'll grab the second one, or the last one in this case. And if you don't already know, you know which direction the stud goes in, because the Allen head or star head, depending on which kind of stud you have, goes up. Pretty easy. So we'll just drag a little bit off the brush here, and then we'll drag it around. That wasn't enough. So we'll dip in the jug, just a little bit on the tip right there, and that should be plenty to do this one bolt with right there. You drag her around, so like that. One more time with the other side of the brush. And we should have, oh, this one's almost perfect. See, that last one was a little spotty. This one's about perfect. See, some people would say I've got too much on here. I like a little extra because you know it'll seal. So there you go. Nice clean coat all the way around it. And then it just started in the hole right here. And then once you run it in, we'll grab a rag and some brake clean and clean off both those stud areas. Like I said, I've already done the rest. So reach across and grab my stud rag. Oh, that's not it. Where's my stud rag at? Oh, it's way over there. Yeah, I know. You shouldn't lean under the engine like that. You can see where I've wiped off all these other studs. So we're going to find a clean spot of the rag. Here's a nice clean spot. Spray a little brake clean on it. Where's my brake clean? Here it is. Spray a little brake clean on it. And wipe the stud base pretty good. Come back with some residue. which I already knew was going to happen. We had to find a clean spot on the rag again. Last corner right there of the rag. We'll soak it with brake clean, and then we'll wipe it down right there with the corner of the rag. And what all that is gets the big stuff off, and then we'll come back with a different rag that's clean, that hasn't been used but for touch-up work. And that'll pull what's left of the residue off of here. Make sure there ain't nothing left on the head right there. Same thing right here, make sure there's nothing left on the head. There you go. Oh, see, there's some right there. Alright, give me that right there. Alright, now we're cleaned up. Alright, next step is the head gasket. So, we're going to drop a head gasket on. Well, maybe, if I can get the holes. Alright, so now you just have to kind of walk them down the studs as you go here. Now it should just fall past. Now you got to fight the bottoms. All these bottom studs here. Oh, that one fell right, almost right in. Oh, and we're in. You just set it in. The block surface is already wiped. We grab the head right here. He's in a bag. Pull his bag off. Grab my rag, my brake clean. And all I'll do is do our dust and just dap the head, just pat it. Because these red rags will leave residue if you wipe the sharp edges on the heads and all. So you just dab it out, and then you set this rag somewhere where it won't get dirty, which it probably already is. All right, and then you put the head on. Nice and easy. Line them up. Try not to scratch the head on the studs. So now what you gotta do is you set the stud in place on both of them, and it should just fall right down the stud. If it doesn't, then you did it wrong. And we're almost there. So now you just kind of wobble her down. She's either too high on one side or the other. So you grab the intake port and the exhaust port, and she should fall down. I don't know why she hasn't yet. Yep. Once you don't want to fall, you have to right at the very bottom. You can grab the rubber mallet, give her a tap tap. Alright, you go to the other side, give her a tap tap. Yep, see, she almost fell in on that side. Give her a tap tap. Alright, now go tap tap. Oh, hit the valve, alright. Make sure they all move. Everything's good. I already tested them, but for the camera's sake. There you go. The head is now seated on the block. No, it's not. Now it is. See, the gasket moves, so you gotta just reach in here and touch the gasket. Now the gasket doesn't move. So we are now seated. And you reach in here, you grab your bag of bolts, which are currently soaking in oil. Nuts. And you start washing stuff up as you go. Boom. Oh, and this is a good time to check the stud lengths too. So I'll go over that real quick. These are good, good. All right. Now, I'm gonna let a lot of people call a human torque wrench. Unfortunately, somebody has borrowed my freaking torque wrench. So, here's our torque wrench for the day. So, we're just gonna go over this head one time, because it's simple. What we do is we torque them we're torquing in a circular pattern at about 25 foot-pounds to start with, which is just good and hand tight. I really probably should be. I typically use a ratchet for this, but so we'll just go in a circle pattern. Until we're done. And then we'll torque them at 45, and I'll torque them at about 65 after that. You know what? Let's break all the rules. It's taking too long. Time to go on low torque. Alright, well, I want everybody to know I do torque heads properly with a torque wrench. So, we'll go through and retorque these heads like I always do. We've got them torqued down to what I would say is about 70 to 75 foot-pounds with the bar I was torquing. I can't remember if I was using a ratchet breaker bar or a breaker bar. But what we'll do is we'll go back through and retorque them real quick, make sure everything's right. So, just start right here in the center, crack it loose. Alright, and pull her back down until you're at 70 to 72 foot-pounds. Here we go. I have this thing set at 76. If you see, right there, it should click. That's right where I started. So, do it again, right here on this one. Broke loose. So now give or take a half turn, should put her back where she belongs. There we go, and dead on the money again. So, keep going through them. Half turn off, a half turn on should put us right at the click. Let's see, here we go. Any second now. Oh, had to go just a hair past a half on that one. But as you see, I'm really, really good with a torque wrench. I've done this for many, many years. So, it was not the first motor I've put together that way. I just don't want everybody thinking I do retorque the heads. And we'll be within a couple degrees. Oh, see, that one's not quite tight enough either. And to click right now. There it is. So, I'll go back through, retorque all these, but I did get my torque wrench back from my buddy. He borrowed it and didn't even tell me he borrowed it. I hate when people do that. And we are currently set at 76 foot-pounds. So that's it. All right, now this is what I call eye candy. And that's saying something coming from a blind guy. So I just learned I'm out of rock. I don't have any rocker studs for some reason. I have 2 sets of guide plates, but no rocker studs. I also don't have my 1-piece oil pan gasket. I don't got no spark plugs. I have all the rockers, the lifters, and all that. So I'm gonna order a set of guide plates and studs. Studs. And when they get here, we'll finish this project. But for now, I think we're gonna finish it right here. Y'all wanna see what she is gonna look like in the near future? At least when she all goes back together. And just remember, this is a mock-up. It's not done. Oh yeah, that's the look right there. Yeah, that's it. This is an old school, I believe it's a Weian from the 70s or 80s. I'd say 70s. We ran it on a road race car for years, and we made a plenum divider for it. It's not a full plenum divider, back years and years ago. And it just slides in and out. So depending on which racetrack we were at, we would disassemble it. And you have an open plane, where you just take this big old piece of steel and you slide her in here. Well, if I can hit the hole. There it goes. It just slides it back in. And it just sits there. That's all it does. And it would give you a little bit more bottom end torque coming off the corners. Shorten up the runners a little bit. Not much, but it helped. And when you do that, you do have to tune your carburetor for it. So I think this thing's going to look good. I'm also missing my cam button. I have one on the motor right now, but it's too big. Timing cover won't fit. So there you go. Tell me what y'all think about it. I think it's going to be a beautiful beast. So, having said that, y'all have a good one. I'm going to go to bed. And I guess that's the end of this video for the time being. Once I get some more parts in, we will reassemble or finish assembling. Later.